Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another BeatStars Academy session. Hope everyone's doing really well. Thank you, everyone in the chat who's telling us where you're from. That was super cool to see that. So hopefully everyone's excited about today's show. We're going to be talking about how to utilize some of the BeatStars features that we have that can help you have a 24/7 marketing and communication flow. So me and Jamil are really excited about this one to talk about some of those features. So yeah, how you doing, Jamil? What's been going on?
I'm doing well. Thank you everybody for joining us. As we said, super excited about this one today. We talk about kind of like marketing and communication a lot on this show. So Lee and I tried to put together kind of like a plan. So, you guys can have like a 24/7 sort of line of communication with your customers. So we're excited to share that with you.
Definitely, sure. Before we get started, just a couple of announcements. Probably most of you have seen the posts go out, but we are hiring again at BeatStars. So if you want to join the BeatStars team, make sure you go to, I believe it's on beatsstars.world/jobs to check out those positions that we've got opening up at the moment. So make sure you go and check that out. And also, most of you would have seen that we're, repping the ladies this week for International Women's Day. So we teamed up with Make Girls Beats, Girls Make Beats, even. And we've added them as a collaborator for Beats for Love. So make sure you go and support those because that will be awesome, of course. So, yeah, I guess we can get started on today's show. Oh, we have a
For
quiz
sure.
at the end as always as well. So make sure you stay tuned till the end
Yeah,
because everyone loves the quiz. I think we get excited more about the quiz than anyone else, to be fair.
I think so. We almost didn't do a quiz because we have like a presentation today, but then I was looking at
Yeah,
the comments on Instagram and I saw that G Life was excited for the quiz. So I was like, we got to
yeah.
do the quiz.
Everyone loves the
Can't,
quiz. Yeah,
yeah, can't be disappointing people.
definitely not.
Okay, let me see. While I set this up, do you kind of just want to introduce what we're talking about and how we're going to be doing it today?
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of take you through we're gonna try and take you through like a 24/7 marketing and communication flow. But what we're gonna start with is like the generalized kind of like 9 to 5 working day kind of schedule, if you like. Now, this isn't like, you don't need to do this exactly as we say. This is just a rough guide and an idea of what me and Jamil came up with from our experience. We have these schedules set inside BeatStars. So, as we're working on our days. So we're trying to translate that into like the producer community, um, just to give you guys an idea of how to, I guess, trying to start thinking like in this way, and as a business, and trying to set this up. We're obviously going to be talking about some of the automated tools that we have on BeatStars that can kind of help, keep that communication and marketing going when you're asleep. Because obviously we need to make sure we get sleep because it's super important. Um, and again, we're working this from a 9 till 5, but you can, change the hours as you wish. Like myself, I work for BeatStars 9 to 5, but then, after work, I'm doing loads of other things as well. So you can, work this how you want it. But this is just an example. So we just want to give you guys an example of what this could potentially look like. So yeah, I guess we can kind of go into it. Hopefully that helps
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah, for sure. And like we were saying, I'll just show you the first page and then kind of go through it. So
Yeah.
we have it set up in like blocks of hours. So we don't literally mean to do all of these things from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We mean sometime within that time period, get to all of these things or make sure you're checking out all of these things. Okay, so yeah, our work day is going to be starting at 9 o'clock. We're going to be going 9 to 5. So from 9 to 11, we're going to make sure that we check our messages and our social media. This is super important because it's going to start off the day kind of in the right way to where we're making sure that we see any kind of like business message that we received overnight, that our chat bot or our emails weren't able to communicate effectively. So we want to make sure that we're getting to these things the first thing in the day so that if people reply, you'll see later on, you'll have more time to possibly address any customer issues or answer any questions while the day is still young. So you're not going in and checking these things late at night, because that's pretty much exactly what we're trying to avoid. This whole thing
Yeah.
is kind of about work-life balance. We want to make sure that when we're available during the day, we're doing a lot of these important things that are going to set up foundationally. It's going to leave you time to rest afterwards and kind of step away, because that's super
Yeah.
important.
I just want to mention kind of another point there, Jamil, if you don't mind. Obviously, you're going to have, customers from all over the world. So, you may want to be considerate if you're going to be replying to these people. You may want to figure out, their time zone and stuff like that. So, but obviously, this is kind of again, this is just a guide. So you may want to just like work that into your kind of workflow. But just so you may want to just check. Just do yourself a favor. May just want to check for those people that are contacting you from different parts of the world. If you're going to reply to them, of course,
For
straight away in the
sure.
morning.
So yeah, like we were saying, first thing in the morning, this is going to be the time where you're going to be checking your messages. You want to check your BeatStars messages. You could do this in the Marketplace app. You could do this in the Studio app. You could do this on beatstars.com itself. Make sure you check those BeatStars messages, because some people will try to message you on BeatStars. And you can't just like think that people are just going to be always hitting you up on social media, even if that is a bigger source for you. Make sure you're checking into your BeatStars messages, because there could be something interesting in there, maybe a collab opportunity, maybe a negotiation, maybe a sale. So you want to make sure that you're checking that out at least once a day.
Yeah.
And then also check your social media. Check, to see if you've received any business DMs. Make sure you're going onto every page that. Make sure you're going onto every like social media that you have a presence on or you have a page on. Facebook, and if you integrate, your chatbot with Instagram, it should mostly be able to do that for you. But you still want to make sure you check in with those manually once a day, because unless you set up like a really, really extensive chatbot, there's always going to be questions that your chatbot can't answer. So you want to check in on those once a day.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I guess to add there as well, Jamil, which is really most platforms have this nowadays, but making sure that you've got your notifications switched on, because that can help you, see these messages when you wake up in the morning. You can see those notifications and stuff like that. So yeah, that's an important tool to utilize on BeatStars for sure.
And then the last thing that we're going to suggest you do in the mornings is some chatbot maintenance.
Yeah.
Go in, and this is not like an everyday thing. This might be like, a once a week, maybe once every couple of week thing, depending on how sort of like extensive your chatbot is and how advanced it is. But you're going to be wanting to go in and just kind of like audit, your chatbot responses. If you have things in there about promotional sales, if you have things in there about bulk discounts, if you have information about your latest beats set up in your chatbot, as you update your page, keep in mind that you do have these automated things in and your information could be out of date. So just go in there every couple of weeks, check it out, make sure everything is completely up to date with the most accurate information.
Yeah, because you may have made some changes on your BeatStars account, your profile and stuff that's like important information. You may have changed your pricing, for instance, and you've probably might not necessarily updated that in your chatbot auto responses. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you keep on top of that for sure.
Yeah, so put that in your schedule. Just always kind of keep it in the back of your mind, even if it doesn't need to be updated very often. Just make sure that's something that like you're keeping like in your line of vision. So,
Yeah,
like one day you might just remember like, oh yeah, I did change like the terms of this license and I have licensing information. So it's good to just go in and check, because you may forget what you even have in there.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, those are the things that you're going to want to check sometime between 9 and 11 a.m. We can go on to the next page.
Sure.
Okay, so these are some of the things that you're going to be wanting to do between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Yeah, and this is like a super like key time frame. The way that we kind of worked a lot of these out is that Some of these things are more likely to come in the morning, like negotiations. So you might want to do that in the afternoon. Um, so yeah, the first thing we have on here is checking negotiations and sales inquiries. You're going to be wanting to look over at the marketplace app, studio app, in your marketplace to see where you have negotiations in. Um, because yeah, you want to be able to address those as quickly as possible. You will be receiving notifications in that little like bell, at that little bell icon on, at least on BeatStars Marketplace on .com on web. So that's a really great place to check at least once a day to see if you have any negotiations that people have started with you. You're also going to be wanting to check, or you're actually going to be wanting to make sure that you kind of send counter offers for any negotiations or accepting any offers. Because if there's like, there could just be like money hanging out there, and it could just take like a check. It could just take like an accept button to check it out. So yeah, make sure you go ahead and do that, and don't leave those lingering for multiple days, because people that send negotiations can also cancel them at any time. If you leave a negotiation hanging out for too long, somebody might find a new beat, and then they might cancel the negotiation they sent to you and start a new one with a different person. So make sure you have it like on your kind of like daily schedule or list of things to check out your negotiations at least once a day. Do you have anything to add on to that? I think you're muted, Lee.
Sorry, yeah, I was just replying to someone there. You're talking about the negotiations and sales inquiries, yes?
Yeah, just kind of how important it is to make sure you check those every day.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely very important to check those, because obviously that could, be the difference between you making a sale and not, basically. I personally check them every day, just to see. And obviously, which we're going to touch on in a minute, is making those counter offers to complete those sales. So it is definitely really important to make sure that you check those negotiations, and that obviously you can check those in various different places, as Jamil's mentioned there.
For sure. The last thing that we have out here to make sure you're checking out is sending out your promotional email campaigns. We believe that this time period, 11 to 1, is probably one of the better times to be able to do it early on in the day. It's kind of like halfway between, kind of like both kind of sides of the world, like whether you're in Europe or if you're in the US. Europe, it'll be like early evening around this time. And then obviously this is like, I'm thinking about US because I'm selfish thinking about my perspective. But this is a good time to send one out if you do have any that are going on, because you still have a few hours left in your workday to be able to kind of like answer any questions about those, or maybe even go in and check negotiations if people have any questions. So it's good to send these promotional things out earlier on in the day, so that you're not staying up late at night answering questions if people want to make a purchase right away. So that's why I think it's sort of important, if you do have one of these to send out, like a coupon code or an announcement for a new beat, do it earlier on in the day.
Yeah, and also make sure you take note of the expiration date of the negotiation as well, because obviously they can pick an expiration date. So you want to obviously make sure you get in there before those expiration dates run out. So that's a cool that's a cool feature, actually.
Okay, cool. We're kind of breezing through this.
Yeah, we are flying through. We're going to be at 5 p.m. in a minute.
Yeah, we're about to get to 5 p.m. We're not even a half an hour into the show. But that's good, because it's going to leave us more time at the end to do the quiz and maybe kind of take suggestions from people, or maybe show some of these things, show how to make some of these things or set these things up.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of what you want to do in the early afternoon of a day, if you're going to be doing like 9 to 5 sort of thing.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to the next page. Okay. Now, in the time period between 1 to 3, this is a really good time to check your direct emails. Depending on which like communication like platform you're using the most, whether you focus more on talking to people and doing marketing through social media, or maybe you do email. These things might be able to be interchangeable.
Yeah.
But we've put email as in our kind of 1 to 3 slot, kind of a little bit less pressing than social media, because I think when people message on social media, they kind of want more of like a direct interaction. It feels a little bit more personal, kind of like sending a text message. So they might be expecting a response quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas email, unless it's the only way that you're communicating with your customers, people using email might be willing to wait a little bit longer. Email generally has an attitude of being a little bit less pressing,
Yeah. It's a bit more laid back.
and a little bit more laid back, right? And more like businessy, to where people might want to discuss things at length or have like a record of things. Whether if it's in an email, a lot of people think about it that way. So this is a great place. This is a great time to check your email, because email will also have like your like any like messages that you get on your contact form through your pro page.
Yeah.
So it could be a licensing question. It could be a question about your page. So you're going to want to make sure you check out your emails, because these are going to be more likely to be like sale related, I would
Yeah.
guess, than like a social. Whether on social media you might get like a let's work
Collaboration
message,
requests or
collab requests, and things are just like requests for different things. But if it's in an email, it's probably like sale related.
yeah.
So I would check that out. So yeah, anything from your contact form in your email, any like general business emails, you're going to be wanting to make sure that you check those out in the afternoon. Um, Also, this is going to be the time to make adjustments to any emails. While we're thinking about email, this is going to be when you're going to want to go in and check out like all your automated like email campaigns that you have set up. Do the same thing that you kind of have done with your chatbot, to make sure that there's no outdated info. Probably more so than your chatbot. Your email campaigns will probably have more coupon codes, like a welcome email when people sign up through the subscription form on your pro page. You might send in a use this for 15% off your first beat. If at any point you've deactivated or changed those codes, that could create an issue. So make sure you're checking on those and see if all of this and all of your like messaging and your emails is up to date.
Yeah. And it's also a good time at this time to kind of compute and gather the data, from your email marketing, whatever platform you're using, MailChimp, Aweber, to see like your open rates and things like that too, so you can adjust as you're adjusting those emails. You can adjust them, maybe to try and get a bigger open rate, try and play around with them and see what you can do to get people to open those emails up. So that obviously you can do all that within this time as well. So
For sure. This is also a really good time to fix any of the customer issues you've like sort of discovered throughout the day. If people are messaging you about something on your pro page, like, oh, I have a question about this, I'm confused about that, or this, I can't add this track to a cart, any sort of customer issue that you need to address, this would be a really great time, because you've already checked your emails, you've already checked your BeatStars messages, you've checked your social media. So by now you've already seen like any message that you've received throughout the day from all of your customers. So this is a great time to, if you have any lingering, obviously, if you have all the time in the world, and you're not busy with anything, you'll probably want to do it right away. But life doesn't really work like that. Things come up all the time. We get busy with
yeah,
other things. Our main point with this is that you don't want to end your workday with any like lingering issues. You don't want to leave anything like, oh, I'll fix it tomorrow. Because if people are waiting on you to be able to buy a beat, they're not going to wait on you forever. So
exactly.
you want to make sure you don't end your day like with your customers like on a bad note. Just get the issue taken care of by the end of the day and reach out to them and let them know that it's resolved, so they can kind of continue shopping with you.
Yeah, customer support is, a huge, huge thing when it comes to your business. It can be the difference between keeping a customer, making one sale, and making multiple sales. So it's super important that you make sure that you're don't leave, like Jamil was saying, don't leave any lingering issues before you finish, your day. So obviously, you're going to get emails probably coming through, messages coming through all day, different times of day. But it's really important as well to set yourself a schedule. And I'm sure, people will understand, at the end of the day, you can't be there 24/7 to answer the stuff when you're working solo. But, this is why one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this today as well, because, we know a lot of producers work on their own. So being able to have like this schedule and having this 24/7, marketing communication flow with all of the tools that BeatStars has to offer can definitely certainly help you, for sure. I know it's helped me um, utilizing all the features possible so I can achieve those goals and stuff like that. So yes, it's super important. There was something else we wanted to mention about the emails. I can't remember what you said to me before we joined. I don't know if you wanted to drop. Was it related to this? If you wanted to drop that now, probably made it too obvious.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I think when you look at these things like auditing, like how often should you be checking these things? I wouldn't say that it's important to like do an audit every single day. I think that might be kind of like a waste of time. But I think a good period would be obviously anytime you make any sort of change it. But that's not the way that most people think. It's probably not going to be the first thing that comes to mind after like you launch like a new sale, unless like you're super organized, which is key. But we're not talking about the ideal situation.
Yeah.
So I think a safe kind of like time frame to be able to check these things would be like twice a month, every 2 weeks. Go in at least once every 2 weeks and check out your emails and your chatbot to make sure you have everything up to date. Obviously, you want to get to the point to where if you're planning out these campaigns of big launches, whether you're launching a new beat album, you have like a special sale coming up for a holiday event or like a summer sale, you want to plan these things out so that all of your communication aligns at once. So if you're planning that far in ahead, do that. Like if you know that you have a beat album and you have like a launch date set, like a month from now, then make sure that all of your email campaigns and your social media posts, all of those things are aligned to come out on the same day.
Definitely.
But yeah, if you're just like doing like regular maintenance, I would do an audit every couple of weeks.
Yeah. Also, just quickly before you skip, this would be another good. I was just come to my mind. This always happens to us during these shows. This come to mind, but this would be a good time, if you're going through emails and you're checking inquiries and stuff like that, and just replying to some of your customers that have got some issues trying to resolve them. This would also be a good time because you was talking, Jamil, which jogged my mind. You was talking about, people having trouble adding beats to their car, or they trying to add a discount code or something like that. This would be a good time to utilize during this part of the day to utilize the share cart feature. So you could, you can help your customers and make that transactional transition a lot smoother for them. So this would be a good time of the day if you wanted to send out all those share cart features to those customers that have inquired, make the sale easy for them. I think this would be a good time in the day. What do you think? This would be a good time of the day to do that.
I think this would be a really good time to do that too.
Yeah.
This period is also a really good time to not just like audit emails, but just like do like an audit of your store itself. Like just go into your store and add, and try to add all of your tracks to the cart. Go into your store, read through your licenses, see if everything makes sense to you. Just make sure that you're not forgetting like the customer's point of view and the customer's perspective. I think it's important to check in with that every once in a while because, we've seen like multiple times, you and I, Lee, where some people might have like a collab track and something happens where, your collaborators like payment method gets disconnected and people can't add a track to the cart.
Yeah.
So, you might have a track sitting in your store that people can't buy, and you might not know about it. That's why it's important to do things like audits. You might
Yeah.
have, the last time you edited a license, you may have made like a typo or something where you forgot to add a 0 to your distribution
Yeah.
copies. If you're never checking on these things, if you just kind of have it in your mind, like, okay, I said I edited it that day, it's good. If you're not going in and checking these things, then you might leave yourself like exposed to more issues.
Have you been checking out my page? Because I did that exact same thing last week. I
Really?
missed, yeah, I missed the 0 off of, like the features, the feature list for the licenses. I missed off a
Mm.
0. I was like, damn, how long has that been like that? I hope that wasn't too long, but yeah, I noticed it last week. So yeah, it's super important because you could miss out things like that. That could be that could be the difference between making a sale or not. And like
Yeah.
Jamil was saying, this auditing, that's not something that you would need to do every day. If you're one of those people that wants to do that, feel free, go ahead and do that if you want to do that every day, because you never know, you might find something new the following day. But yeah, it's very important to make sure you do that for sure.
Yeah. Even if it's not something that crucial as like forgetting a 0 in a license, you may misspell like an artist name in your tags.
Yeah.
And now you have one letter off and you're missing out on like all the traffic from like a key search term. That
Yep.
would be really good for your beat, especially if you're a very active producer who's constantly filling out metadata, who's constantly editing things. The more chance, like this happens for me too, but like it's just natural human nature. Like the more things you edit and the more things you have to type in, the more typos and mistakes you can make.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody who uploads like once every couple of weeks, like or once a month, and you're kind of taking your time and being like super like deliberate and slow with it, this might not be that big of an issue. But if you're uploading like multiple times a week and constantly writing things and making content, you need to incorporate like content auditing into your routine. It's
Definitely.
just, like it's like no matter how like careful you are, you're gonna run into mistakes. I saw a track recently scrolling through. This wasn't recent. This was actually a long time ago. I saw a track a long time ago where instead of writing Dua Lipa, I think they wrote Dupa Lupa in the tags, and I was like, if it kind of seems like easy, like, oh, like how could you make a mistake like that? But it's normal. They were just trying to type in. Maybe your finger slips. Maybe you get an autocorrect, and now you're not in the Dua Lipa tag because you spelled
Yeah.
it wrong. So that's why you
Perhaps
need to
they were
check things out.
watching. Perhaps they were watching Willy Wonka at the time, and
They could have been, yeah. So that's
was
why
the
you need
right
to content
influence.
audit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and check out what we're going to be doing to end our day.
Yes.
So this is sort of like the last period before we get into like our kind of like automation centric period thing. But from 3 to 5, we think ending the workday on a creative note is, at least for us, one of the best possible kind of ways to do it. I
Definitely.
think I'm not sure. Some people like to make beats in the morning, make beats at night. Um, I would sort of like put your creative and scheduling maybe like opposite from wherever your beat making goes. So you're not like just doing like creative back to back, because that might get sort of complicated. But yeah, so like as we were saying, like your beat making has to come, either after this or sometimes during the day. We don't mean to do this every day from 3 to 5. But besides just auditing and making sure you're fixing things, you also need to set up a good chunk of time to like really get creative and actually create new content, create new emails, make new chatbot flows. And also, we want to make sure that we're scheduling these things out. Um, it's it'll make it a lot harder and more like time consuming and tedious for you if you're creating things when you need to put them out.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to make sure that you're able to schedule these things in advance. If you know that you have a big beat release coming up that you're excited about, make your social content in advance and then schedule it out. That's why we kind of have this time period that we're looking at every day. If we know that we have this release coming up, don't put off like your creative time when it comes to your marketing things.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
in your case, if like I know sometimes like you do cook up videos, or when you're making like an email campaign, or when you're fixing up your chatbot, kind of how far in advance are you thinking about these things, when you want to
Sometimes
like coordinate it with a release?
it's hard because sometimes like you get the inspiration at that time. So sometimes, when you're trying to be creative, it doesn't always necessarily come at you straight away. But as long as you've like put the thinking behind it beforehand, which is what I would do, and maybe write some ideas down, it doesn't hurt to be creating things last minute, but it does help if you can create things in advance, because it takes away that pressure of like, trying to keep up and trying to like make sure that you're posting regularly, like with anything. So if you are trying, if you are doing stuff in advance, it definitely does help. But if you can't do that and you find yourself one of these type of people that, you know maybe you procrastinate a little bit like myself, sometimes when it comes to creating content, I'm a little bit unsure. um, then I will, at least write some ideas down, or if I'm going to do like a cook up video, I try to do it around the same time that I'm going to be posting the beat on BeatStars. So I do. There is some thinking behind it, but sometimes I don't always have the inspiration at the time to kind of like make a creative video, and um, or like a social post of some kind. But I do try my best to do it. And for those of you that can, I applaud you, because it's not always that easy to be consistently creative all the time. Um, but as I was saying, and as Jamil said, if you definitely can like do some, like future thinking when it comes to posting, it's definitely worth your while. And I wish I was better at it. I'm going to definitely be working on that more this year for sure.
Right. Then I think that's why, you touched on some good points of why we mention, or and why we like, want to suggest to kind of put these things on your schedule every day,
Yeah,
because you never know when the creative bug is going to hit you. And that's why, you should start thinking about these things in advance, like just having it on your schedule, looking at it every day, being like, okay, like I need to make like new content, new emails, new chatbot responses, and I know this release is coming up. I don't feel like doing it today. When like maybe like you're making a beat and you say, okay, I don't want to make a video today, I'll do it later, and you might forget about it because you're already on to the next beat, you're already on to the next project. But
yeah,
having these things like on your just looking at these things and keeping them in mind every day, when that creative bug like hits you and you want to do it, at least like I know when I'm trying to be creative, like if I'm feeling like creative, I need to do it like right now before like it leaves. Like,
yeah,
like before that feeling leaves. So that's why we suggest to visit it every day.
yeah. It's no
Obviously
different.
it's tough. Yeah.
It's no different to like sometimes, like especially for like musical creative people, you might all of a sudden just get this melody in your head. Like, obviously you have your phone. Take it down. If you have your phone with you and you're out and you have this really great video idea, just like record yourself on your phone, talking about the idea that you come up with, because you never know when that inspiration comes to you. So that's something that I do sometimes. I might not, maybe not necessarily video, but I might just do like some notes in my notepad, on and that's super cool, because like I was saying, I actually do the same, by the way, and this is a really cool trick for anyone that struggles with this. I do the same with beat names. So I come up with beat titles way before in advance, and I write a whole list down. So when these like ideas come to my head for a beat name, I just put it down in my notes. And then when I'm really struggling to find a beat name to fit the beat, I go through my notes and go, right, okay, that one fits, you know. So you can do a similar, kind of thing when it comes to creating post or any kind of like social content like that. If you're thinking about something for TikTok, for instance, like you inspired you, create a quick video on your phone or write it down. I think that's a really cool idea. So use the tools that you have to your hand. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I think just like taking advantage of creative bursts is really important for any creator. I don't know, because sometimes I struggle with it where like like just like there could be like an entire week where just like nothing is going on up here. So it helps when I'm able to do multiple things or two things the week before, so that I'm not like just going into like these huge like gaps in productivity.
Yeah, no, I agree. As I was saying,
Mhm.
creativity isn't always there because a lot
Mhm.
of the time it's like a mental thing or like just a
Mhm.
mood thing, like how you're feeling. You might have had a bad day, something might have happened, some stuff that's outside of your control. So it's just really good to like make sure we always say this, make sure that you use that creative time when it's there. But yeah, like this 3 till 5, like I was saying, it's good to have that like scheduled in so you can sit down and think, right, what can I do today, and spend those couple of hours thinking about the stuff that you can do. And I'm sure you're going to be able to come up with something that's going to be a good idea. Or even if you can't think of anything, or if you can't create anything, use this time to kind of research some of the platforms to see what other people are doing and get some ideas, and then start jotting those down if you're not into or not feeling up to making any social content at that time. So you can do other things to try and help you to be
Uh,
productive. That's kind of the whole point of setting out this schedule, to try and be as productive as you possibly can.
right. Did this show cut out for a second? I'm seeing some comments.
um yeah, the views dropped a bit there. I don't know why.
It says nobody's watching. Yeah, I guess it did cut, but it looks like we're back now. They can hear us. It's okay.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah, we don't have this isn't posted anywhere, but yeah, you could rewatch it, or maybe we could figure out a way to get this posted somewhere if you guys
Yeah,
want to look at it. Maybe we'll put it on. Um, Maybe we'll put it on like beatstars.world or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But at the very least, you can go and rewatch this at any time on Twitch or YouTube. Um, okay, I think we kind of talked about everything we wanted to talk about on this page.
yeah,
And let's just kind of, there's not much to say about this, but your workday is done after 5. If you're doing this full time, like this is our ideal kind of thinking in this situation, to where because you're doing all this work, communicating, doing all the things that automation can't do throughout the day, you can just kind of clock out. Um, if you have like ultimate like drive and power, like The Rock, you could respond to customers and work 24/7. But realistically, that is not most of us. Most of us kind of want to relax, take a break, clock out, escape work for a little bit. So just let your automation take over, your chatbot, all of the posts that you scheduled out, your social posts, your scheduled emails that you planned out from 3 to 5. Let all of those communication streams take over, so you can go and spend more time working on beats, living your life, doing whatever you want. That's kind of the goal of this, right? We don't want to work 24/7. Nobody does. But because BeatStars and beat selling is a worldwide community, um, a lot of these things are functioning 24/7. But that doesn't mean that we have to, it doesn't mean that we have to like grind and kill ourselves 24/7 just to keep up. If you're doing these things, you'll be setting yourself up for success even after you've logged off for the day. I don't know what happened to Lee. I think maybe technical difficulties took over. Um,
man, what is going on today?
did it boot you out?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on. Anyway,
Okay, good.
sorry
At
guys.
least both of us didn't get booted out. I don't know what would happen. I
True.
guess the show would like go into like the metaverse or something if we both got booted out.
I think people have cottoned on that the quiz is coming up. That's what it is. They're trying to cheat.
Yeah, that might be it.
Just kidding, guys.
Okay, maybe we should do the quiz now, and then we can have
Yes.
time for any questions or any comments, and just do a little bit more discussion afterwards.
Yeah,
Let's do
definitely
that.
sounds good. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, cool. Hope you guys have liked the show today.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the technical difficulties. I'm not really sure what's happening.
Yeah, it's out of our hands. We're not pressing any buttons, by the way. It's just happening automatically. So
Yeah.
everyone excited for the quiz? Hopefully you are.
This one is a little bit it's a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah. Make sure you get your phones out ready to play the quiz. Kahoot.it is the link you want to go to, and we can give you the room code in a second.
I'm confused. Hold on, something's happening. What the heck?
I believe we did Grantastic, but we will check to double check and make sure. But I'm sure we did.
Yeah, if we didn't, then we'll add last show and this show at the same time.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions whilst Jamil's trying to get the quiz up and running? Does anyone have any questions about or any ideas about kind of the workflows that you have for your kind of 9 to 5 schedule, if it is 9 to 5 for you? Definitely let everyone know in the chat what some of the stuff that you do in your daily routines that can help you keep this 24/7 marketing and communication flow going. Also, I'm interested to see, what times of the days you guys are being creative and creating beats and stuff. That's a good question to always ask. I know some producers in the community, they're morning people, so they're making beats in the morning. They get inspired in the morning, and then some people are kind of like making beats, late at night to early hours in the morning. So let us know what you guys and girls do.
I'm confused. Okay, wait. Oh, never mind. Okay.
So
Sorry, there were like some updates to Kahoot that was like I was trying to read them. I was getting
okay.
confused. Okay, but we got it now. I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay, so A6 Gitty says he's most creative at 10 in the evening. G Life says in the morning or night, but not in the middle of the day. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Okay, so we're up and running. So www.kahoot.it on your phone. It's best to use your phone. That's just a tip there. Or you can download the Kahoot app from your app store. Once you're in, you can then enter this game pin, which is 25712. Or you can also use the QR code on the screen to access the app quickly. So don't tell them about the phone, someone says in the chat. So that's a tip.
Is kind of crazy. I thought everybody was using their phones. I didn't know people were doing it on.
Yeah, I think maybe people have like maybe 2 screens open or something. Some people are lucky enough to have 2 screens. I just work off the one. Do you work off 2 screens, Jamil?
Yeah, I have the MacBook screen and then another one.
Something I need to do this year. I need to get an additional screen. Make things a lot easier.
Oh, you're doing the one screen thing.
Yeah. 2 screens again, can help with your workflow. So potentially.
That's on the quiz, so make sure I'm just getting
No, it's not on the quiz. Don't worry, guys. It's not on there.
How many screens does Levi Beats have?
Okay. I think we have some new people in here today. It's good to see.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe we just have really bad memory.
Probably that.
Probably the second one. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I didn't. I haven't gotten a chance to check out the G Life episode of Sunday Sounds.
Oh yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch it either. I need to go back and watch it
I
since
want to
G
watch
Life
it too.
is an avid follower of the BeatStars Academy show. Shows up every time we're on.
And you
Thank
check
you as
that out.
always,
And
everyone that does join to show us some support here. We do this for you guys, of course. So it's great that you come and join us so we can feel like we're providing valuable information to you and you take it away and utilize it. So
for sure. And DJ Fanatic is always great on Sunday Sounds. So
yeah, he is good host.
all right, let's go and do it. Looks like we're losing people instead of gaining people at this point. Let's
Let's
go ahead
go.
and start it. You can join late if anybody's still trying to get in. Just there's a QR code at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
Which of the following should you check daily?
Oh,
Your BeatStars message inbox, your emails, your social media DMs, or all of these? Oh, I thought there was a QR code, but it's just Kahoot.it game pin 25712.
we're getting creative with these gifts.
Mm-hmm. I want to do like like in the I don't know if is it Double Jeopardy when they have like the video questions. I want to start doing like video questions.
Yeah, that would be quite cool actually. Yeah.
There might be one more person that needs to answer.
Yeah. Still got 5 seconds to answer. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Yep, all of these. Check all of those every day. You don't want to miss out on any cool opportunities because you didn't check all of your possible lines of communication.
I think that might be a BeatStars Academy first. Maybe. I could be wrong, but
I think we might have had a once or twice
okay.
at some point. Cool. We got Grandtastic, Concilious, and Cloud9 rounding out the top three.
Ooh.
True or false? You can check your negotiations in the studio app.
Oh.
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
I just needed to plug in my computer and unplug my unplug my webcam. All right. Yep, your negotiations can be checked in the studio app.
That's
or at
the
least
place
he tells
to be.
me they are.
Sorry?
I was saying, or at least Lee told me that you can.
Yes, you can. That's where you negotiate. That's where you find your negotiations in the studio app. So that's the place to be to check your negotiations on the go. Of course, you can also check it on your main BeatStars marketplace profile. But if you're on the go, this is the place to be to check your negotiations for sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a newer MacBook. I don't know why the battery dies in like 40 minutes, but it does. All right, let's go on to the next question.
Oh,
cool. Guadaluca moved into the top 4. Our top 3 is the same still. It's cool. How often should you audit your automated emails?
Oh,
every day, every 2 weeks, once per month, or once a year?
This is a guide. This is our guide, by the way.
Yeah. Lee had to stop the show to remind me to talk about this because I asked him to. I knew it was gonna be a question.
Yeah. I've not seen any of these questions, so Jamil done it in secret.
There you go. Yeah, once every 2 weeks at least.
Yeah,
Once per month. You might be. I mean, like once per month kind of leaves you exposed to being out of date for 29 days or 30 days on a 31-day month. Every day is a bit excessive. Every 2 weeks kind of feels like the sweet spot to me.
yeah, I
Unless
agree.
you're someone who is constantly putting out different coupon codes and different and updating your license every day, then you might want to do it every day. I hope you're not doing that, because that might kind of confuse your customers if you're making too
Yeah,
many changes every day. But every 2 weeks is kind of a good sweet spot. It doesn't have to take you hours. Just go in and read over your emails, make sure everything's cool.
yeah, definitely for sure. And also, it kind of depends on how often you're sending out emails too. You can base it off of that, but every 2 weeks is a good starting point at least.
Mhm. Okay, cool. Wow, there's a lot of movement there.
There is a lot of movement. Yeah.
Cloud9, Barker Beats, and G Life is now on the top floor. Okay, true or false? Scheduling out posts can help you save time and stay consistent.
I wish we could turn the music up a little bit in this.
We can turn it up. I lowered it because it was like really loud. It was like
Oh, was it?
obnoxiously loud when I first started it.
Okay.
Oh, it stopped because this is a dump page. Yeah, it's true. Everybody got it.
Yep. Good work.
Ooh, okay. G Life moves into the top 3. Wait, they have the exact same score.
I think it might be based on the winning streak as well. You know, if you answer so many, you know.
Yeah, but there's no way you could get that point total unless you've gotten every question.
If it ends the same equal at the end, then we'll
Yeah,
do
you're both in.
Yeah.
You're both good. Okay, double points. What can you do with all your free time you have since your communications are automated? Make beats, learn to cook souffle, take a nap, or all of these and literally anything else you want.
I'm definitely taking the blue option.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is so
It's
loud.
super loud.
There we go. It looks like Baby Yoda is dancing to the thing. It's like we were at the club. Yeah, that was so loud.
Yeah. Is Yoda dancing in time to the beat as well? I think he might be.
Sort of. It seems a little bit offbeat, but I mean, he is an alien, so I was expecting to have that much swag.
He's got swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no. The people who answered make beats were like, nope, you can't cook souffle in that short amount of time. It takes way longer to cook souffle. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the idea, right? You're setting up automation so that you have more free time to do the things that you love and not just constantly working on marketing and you know and doing all these things that could burn you out. Trying to prevent burnout, create a good work-life balance. If you take all these steps and set up some automation and schedule things out and work consistently, you won't be, you're going to leave yourself some time to have fun too.
Yeah. And making sure that you're not burning yourself out in the process as well, because it's important. You get rest. So if you need to take a nap at this time, take a nap. George Life,
Okay.
number 3. G Life.
There we go.
Cloud9.
Number 2.
Who's number 1? Fantastic. Yes.
There we go.
Congratulations, everyone.
It's like this. Like it's so fast. Cool. And let me just make sure that 4th place is not like a tie.
Yeah, good idea.
We can check that out afterwards. But yeah, I think we're almost out of time. If there's any questions about anything that we did today, or anything else going on BeatStars, now's a good time to let us know. We got a few extra minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely love to hear, what some other people's schedules, if they have any different ideas of like how to schedule out their day. I'd be definitely interested to hear that. It's always good to hear what y'all are all doing in your days when it comes to your beat selling businesses. So definitely let us know if you want to in the chat. Um, yeah, so I think it's been a great show. I think you dropped a lot of gems as usual on the Academy show. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. And I always kind of learn as well. I don't know about you, Jamil, but I always kind of learn when we're doing this stuff too. So it's really cool to share that with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely forces us to think about things in different ways too,
Yeah,
um, and come up with kind of like you know I think a lot of us here that are like that are like committed to kind of like like really trying to make a career in music, and obviously like coming to this show every week like you guys do, or every other week like you guys do, it kind of shows how committed you are. And obviously if you're not already seeing the results of that level of commitment, you will soon. um, but when you kind of like already know these things, it's like, or you already know like the basics. It just requires like thinking outside the box and challenging yourself to keep improving every week.
yeah.
So I think that's cool, and I think we're doing that along with everybody else here.
Yeah, agreed. And it's very easy sometimes to just miss out the basics, like you skip over things and maybe overcomplicate things. But sometimes the basic steps that you take that we go across these shows, are really important, to make sure that you have them in your workflow or you are aware of them. So sometimes it doesn't hurt to just like refresh your mind on some of the stuff that can help you at the end of the day. Um, so yeah, like that's why we come up with this idea, because we think that's well. It was I was thinking, like sometimes how it must be hard for people, working solo, the difference between working with a huge team of people and then working on your own. You have to like put all these different heads on. What can you do to like help you make that process a lot easier? So setting a schedule, which we always say is very important, but utilizing every single tool that you possibly can to help you, whether it's any kind of automation tool, and then putting that into a workflow, because it's okay knowing that those tools are there and you're using them, but like being able to use them to your full advantage is like using them in a scheduled time. You know what I mean? And that helps you to kind of get the best potential out of them as well. So I think it's definitely a good thing to think about, and just it's also good to get you guys and girls thinking about you know creating these schedules and setting yourselves and disciplining yourselves a little bit to because we're all guilty of it sometimes. Maybe not yeah, working smart as well. Working smart is a definitely a good one to not burn yourself out, because obviously that's important as well. So yeah,
For sure.
definitely for sure. So I guess we could probably call it a day if no one has any kind of questions. But feel free as always to reach out to us on support at beatstars.com, or if you have any kind of like anything you wanted to discuss about today's show, please feel free to hit me or Jamil up. We'd love to hear what your thoughts and what some of the things that you guys get up to with your work days. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, later everyone, thanks again.
Peace out, everyone. Take care.